Welcome to the Blind Spot here at Flashpoint. Congratulations to MIBR for successfully qualifying for our playoffs 2-0 over Forza, which makes me happy because, like you, Alan, I predicted MIBR.
Hey, I'm here too. I predicted him.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. We didn't talk about that in the pre-show, obviously, because you weren't there. So, but how many pinnacle points did you go in?
I think I put 500 on him.
Oh,
Like
both you guys did.
Oh, we did the same bets.
It was 2-1 on that too, so pretty good stuff. Thorin had the big win earlier, was in first place. We'll take a look at our leaderboards in a little bit. We do have a winner's interview eventually. However, they are in some sort of Brazilian man pile right now, so they have been delayed. Oh, we can do it now. I've been told that we can officially do it now. I assume that we're going to be talking to Kogu again. I've been told that is correct. So if Kogu is here, would he like to appear behind me on the screens? No, he would not. He'd like to appear in front of me. Congratulations, Kogu.
Thank you.
Are you done partying,
so
or is this just the beginning of the party?
we will party when we win the tournament. Right now, we have to focus and be prepared for the next match.
Have you?
Tough coach, never going to get a party.
Have you found any cachaça in Serbia?
No.
And you didn't bring any with you, did you?
No.
So
Here's,
you need to be mailed some then. That's what I'm understanding.
Pardon?
They need to send you some in the mail. Ship you in a box.
No. We're not thinking that way. We're here to play Counter-Strike. Like, we will party as soon as we win. Everyone thought that we will come to this tournament just to fill in, but we are bringing so much more.
You're right. I did think that. So thank you for proving me wrong. I appreciate that you're playing very well, okay?
Thank you.
So talk to us about the preparation that went into this Forza match, because it seemed like a pretty even match on paper, but now you're officially into the playoffs. So how did you focus in the last week on this, preparing for this team?
We had a lot of problems because two of the guys was feeling really bad, and we thought it was COVID. We go to the hospital. We stayed there. We haven't practiced for 2-3 days, but this team is moved by energy. We knew that. We had like just a few days playing practice, but for this match, we are here in Serbia for like 20-25 days or more, but we lose 2-3 days of practice, but we have so much more behind that we talk about it and we didn't let this affect us as a team.
That's fair enough. I think what was impressive is you guys have had some strong maps, but to come out in 2-0 today on this map set, were you confident based on what you saw in the draft with Nuke and then heading into Inferno?
Yeah, we were pretty confident. We're a new team, so what we need most is to practice, do some. I don't know the name in English, like strategy talk, not only be playing, but talk a lot with the team, so we connect to each other. But we did our best, and even with all that happened in the last days, we we go through, and this is really important for us.
Well, congratulations. Anybody else have any questions for Kogu here?
Yeah, I've got one. So because your team, like you say, people thought, are they just here to stand in? Like these are just a collection of players.
Wait. Is THORIN talking?
Yes. Come on, man.
Hey, THORIN, my friend.
Right? Yeah.
I love you, bro.
People don't
Hi.
know. Me and Kogu know each other from 1.6, legend, yeah. So I have a question for you. Since people thought your team would just be stand-ins and they're just here to make up numbers, one thing that we've already seen is your team plays every map in theory. Like even your vetoes are different depending on the opponent. Like have you put in a lot of time with this team?
Yes. We get here and we play at all maps. So our strategy is to put the other team in a tough position because they know we will go. It's gonna be war. No matter what map we will be playing, we will give our best. And I think we have one map in advantage because we're playing all. So
We're getting a free show here, Kogu. You usually have to pay for this.
No.
We're coming back to the Flashpoint. All right. So sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, it's fine.
Alan, Hawka, you guys have any questions about MIBR? Deep burning questions that you'd like to have answered by Kogu while he's here?
Yeah, I can ask something. Kogu, you guys, when you first played Inferno, it felt like you were really struggling to hold Banana in that game against Astralis. But this game, it was much better for you guys. I think it was VSM and Leo Drunky who are playing B. They seem to be much more on the same page. So how have you turned that round so quickly?
Like I said before, this Banana on Inferno, it's a part of the map it's war. Like every team's gonna be fighting, every team's gonna be fighting for Banana. So we start against Astralis. We didn't had a lot of time to prepare, to do a lot of stuff. So we still learning and getting better. We are not 100%. We are far away from that, but we talk a lot. We try new stuffs on pracs and. I think when you want to win something really bad, you just do whatever it takes to get better. Like what that's the difference between when you lose something. What are you gonna do about that loss? Like you can just be like crying because you lost, or you can do something about it, and that's why we are doing right now.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, I've got one question for you, Kogu. When I look at this team on paper, only KNG seems like a really vocal player to me. So in the server, when you're playing, who else is being really vocal? And particularly in afterplants and retakes, who are the vocal players outside of just KNG? Who's calling the shots? Who's saying what to do and how to approach those situations?
In this team, everyone has voice. Most of the time is KMG, but he cannot be saying everything, every step that they have to make. So everyone talks a lot. We know, like VSM and TRK, they're kind of more quiet guys. They don't talk that much, but but we keep saying for them to, hey, come on guys, this is a team. We have to talk more, and they are all getting better on that. But everyone's calls shots sometimes. Depends on the situation.
Just from this interview, I feel like the one thing MIBR has to do now is open a TikTok channel, because these guys are just ready to be stars, man.
Yeah.
They're ready to move all the videos, dancing, take the shirts off. You guys could be super famous.
I hope so, but we have to be humble and go step by step. We know we still have a lot to show and to get better. Humble, and I'm pretty sure we can do a lot of stuffs.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing that, especially as you play in your winners match, because you still have that chance to end up on top of your group later this week. And regardless, we're going to see you in playoffs as either the first or second seed. So we'll look forward to you guys continuing to practice in Serbia and see you one more match in groups, and then later on in about 10 days for those playoff games. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Can I say some words in Portuguese?
Of course you can, Kogu.
Thank you so much. Galera, deu nós, cara, deu nós, porra. E a gente vai continuar. A gente teve vários problemas aqui. A gente não deixou isso afetar, mano. A gente tá com muita vontade. Vamos continuar treinando. Daqui 2 dias vamos pegar a Big. Mano, vamos se preparar. Vamos, mano, continuar com essa garra. O apoio de vocês é muito importante, mano. Obrigado por estar junto aí com a gente desde sempre que a gente tá aqui, mano. Pessoal aí de casa, vocês estão dando maior força pra gente. Isso é o que mais importa, mano. Obrigado de coração. Obrigado, minha mulher, todo mundo que tá assistindo, os patrocinadores, muito obrigado. E vejo vocês daqui 2 dias contra a Big, caralho. Thank you so much.
Obrigado, Kogu, and congratulations. And take a look at some of these other highlights that we saw from the Forza MIBR game.
This wasn't that great a map, let's be real.
No.
After the first part, it was his opening shot. By the way, you all thought, I could tell from the vibe, you all thought he was going to trash me, didn't you? You thought he was saying, you thought he was like, disrespecting me. Like,
I did.
That's because what all of you don't know is before the end of 2015, Brazilian fans were sort of cool. Like, we actually used to love MIBR. Kogu was one of the best players in the world. Like, I have a great relationship with the old school ones. Just all these young punks.
I was surprised too because it doesn't seem like Kogu's capable of, hating
no.
anybody. So I was like,
people.
wow, where's this going?
Kogu's just a chill guy. People don't get it.
You know, I'd love in future as well, because we always know, like, Kogu's always going to talk in Portuguese at the end of the interview. So we need to have a guy ready to just type up some fake subtitles so we can like pretend he's just trash talking Thorin. That's what we need.
There we go. Or any other team that is in the tournament saying
course.
how shit Forza were, just give him the extra spice that we think he needs. Well, that'll do it. MIBR 2-0. I know, Alan, you had a round you wanted to look at very briefly.
Are we going into that now?
We should. We should get it done, man, because I just want to drink beer and bullshit. So hurry up.
Yeah, let's do it. It should be
excited.
It should be Leo's ace, I hope. So they actually went down 3 versus 5 in this round. Leo's the B rotator, so he came over to A and they stacked it to try and get the numbers back. Playing around default here, gets his first 2 kills. Second one, he's fully white. It just looks a bit less than that on GoTV. Swings out, kills the player in apps, pushes up short, gets 1, and by that last kill, just like full confidence, he just swings and gets the kill. So massive ace for him, and they were just really rolling on that CT side, and I don't think Forza were really in it on their T side on that first half.
Yeah, to cap this off, is this I think even those of us who picked it, MIBR, didn't think it was going to be this one-sided, especially there on Inferno. So is this a surprising result to you, and what do you think this means for MIBR and the rest of Flashpoint?
I think it's more surprising actually from the Forza angle, having seen them playing big, where they took them, 14-8 or something they were up against big, and then they did fall apart in that game, but they looked really impressive on Inferno. I was actually demo reviewing that game earlier today, and they looked really great. Actually, they looked much more kind of cleaner play on T side, particularly than I've seen in earlier games where they just sort of feed in one by one. It's not so, the trading isn't always there. So in that game on Inferno, I'm guessing again, the comms were probably falling apart, maybe mentality-wise, they're just sort of out of it. So they did look really off in that game, and I do hope moving forwards, they will be in the last chance, won't they?
Yes,
last chance game.
100%.
Hopefully in that game they can get it together again, because that wasn't the best of Forza in that series.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. As someone who's had to cast a lot of those goddamn online maps that Forza play, they can just be so hit or miss as a team sometimes. Like, sometimes their team play's looking great. Some of the weird stuff they does catch people off guard. Sometimes it looks more like this, where it just looks off. But you know that Forza can come back, and those things that look off can turn into good things for them.
Yeah, we've seen that even within one match, because their first match they played against Envy, they got absolutely dominated on Dust 2. They lost 16-2, and then they came back and ended up closing out in pretty convincing fashion the remaining 2 maps. So you saw kind of that duality just play out in one best of 3.
And also, even in this particular series, like, they had their chances on Nuke. If they win Nuke, we'd be on train right now. Again, 3 maps, we'd get a better sense of who they are as a team, like what is the average level. Whereas what we saw is some of the best of Forza and some of the weaknesses. And then the second map, that was basically just the MIBR story. I mean, as you saw, even one of the rounds that they had a man advantage and they couldn't close out. So that's why I found it very telling on the first day that we did Forza games that Jerry was saying all those things about how the communication problems, like, this is a lineup that's been together ages. They've been together all of this year at least, probably even more than that.
I think they're the longest standing roster at this tournament in terms of 5-man. Like, I think they've been together since 2018, maybe? Like, they've been together a long time. And, like, people have wanted these players in CIS, but for some reason it's just not working right now, it seems.
The strange thing with Forza, actually, if you read them in interviews, they talk all the time about how they have mentality problems, or in this game, they just weren't hitting their shot. Here, after that, get that first game versus Envy, that they have big communication problems. So they're all over the place in terms of, what to improve, what to work on. And from me as an outsider, it's quite obvious, actually, that kind of their structure inside and out of the games isn't there versus the top teams. And all you'd have to do really is kind of study the top teams, trying to understand how they're making moves, reverse engineer, and then from there add things slowly to your game. And they're not quite there yet. Hopefully LMBT, he really was a really good coach on Mouse, actually.
Sure.
So he knows his stuff. It's a bit concerning they're having so many communication problems when LMBT should know better in these sort of situations. So hopefully potentially he becomes a bigger part of the coaching side of the team. They can start to get on top of these problems, because they do have some really great pieces. I do think Jerry can. I think he could be a really good in-game leader if he builds up from where he is now, because this kind of mentality, how he approaches calling, is good. The problem is that I just don't think he understands the team game enough to pull it off and really take on these top teams. So for them, playing at a tournament like Flashpoint, particularly a match against a team like Big, reflecting on that, seeing those 2 losses, how they gave up scenarios where his calling was wrong, all of these sort of things, losing is learning, and when you lose to a team like Big, even if it's in a convincing fashion, they can learn so much from that game. So hopefully They're going to stay in Flashpoint. They're going to build on this, and we can see some better Forza moving forward.
And we will see them at least one more time in Flashpoint as they compete in our last chance qualifier. Here is how our Demolition Men group turned out here. We have still yet to play the big MIBR final that will be coming up on Saturday. Forza, again, not out after that loss. We will see them on Sunday to get that chance to play into our playoff bracket. Now, we have our updated Pinnacle points, so we can see where everybody stands at the end of one day. Hawka!
Yes.
You are on top.
Drawing all of
Yeah,
us.
so we are technically drawing, but they put me first, so I'll take that. I like how they put Anders third still as well. Even when Anders has the same as us, he just still gets fucked.
Come on.
Wow, you guys had exactly the same. So you guys went a little bit heavier than I did. I only put the 300 points onto MIBR. I was a little less confident, so I fell down a little bit. Thorin in the middle, and Yumi negative,
Bardolph. Yeah.
and Bardolph.
The dream team.
Getting both wrong. That's rough. I think this is the first day I've gotten both right, if I believe.
Weren't you like middle of the pack most other times?
No, I
as
was
well?
second to last.
That
Did you
makes
go
sense.
OG
Okay.
and VP? Did you go OG and VP on that day? Pretty much everybody went that one and got it right.
It was OG C9. It was the C9.
You picked C9, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I got one day all right, but we have fewer days this time because we only have the 4
Yeah,
days.
minus
so.
1,000 here is rough. Like they've got to come back hard.
Yeah, the swing is pretty severe right now. Obviously, with people up, 1,500, 2,000 at this point in time, that's going to be a rough one
Then
to come
just
back
like
from.
the team's still in the tournament, they better get this shit together, haven't they? Otherwise, we all know they're going to be losers.
That's true. That's true. All right, so we do have a little game to play now that we've had a little beer and or
This is a fun one.
vodka.
Get ready.
And this
Get
is
ready.
a fun one. This was my idea,
Here we go.
but not my execution. So thank you, production, for putting this together. It is Thorin or not Thorin. So this is tweets, and we have to guess if they are tweets by Thorin or by somebody
And I'm going to
else.
stay poker face. You won't get any reads from me.
They all real tweets
So-
just from...
Yes,
could
they
be from
are
other
real
people.
tweets.
They're all
Okay.
from someone,
They're
but
all
is it
from
me
someone.
or is it not
I
me?
get fired from my job if I tweeted like you do. Not my fault. You're a loser in a shit job. That is Thorin. I remember that tweet.
Oh wow, straight in.
Unfortunately, I'm a Thorin tweet
That is
enthusiast.
Yeah, that is definitely.
By the way, they had to take out
They had
his
to take off the little
the
face for
cheeky
obvious
little
reasons.
Oh, yeah.
face.
Yes, the one that Christine made me put on.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yes, and
By the way, banger tweet as well.
It's also
Yeah, yeah.
unfair because what happens with Thorin and me is like we'll have a conversation and then like he'll start tweeting about our like that conversation, and we've had that conversation about like how you could get away with tweeting things or how people are jealous about you because you have the freedom to tweet things that they wish they could tweet. But so then they reflect and they say, oh, I would get fired if I said that, but then they get mad because you're not getting fired. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So, this performance by the new MIBR just shows how little pride and effort was being put in by the veterans. The org was cuckolded by those big names for so long, but good on them bringing in players who want to play for the badge. Look, I'm going to get probably most of these right, so we're going to go with you guys first.
It seems too nice. Also, I don't know if Thorin would type out cuckolded fully, or if he'd just say cucked. You know, that's what's on my
So you're
mind
guessing
right
not
now.
Thorin.
I don't. Think
I
this
would
is-
guess not Thorin just because it's a bit too nice.
I don't think this is Thorin. I think if MIBR plays well, he might tweet something in this vein, but presumably this was.
I think it's
this.
Thorin.
I don't think it is.
Well, we're wrong then.
I don't think it is.
Split decision. Let's see.
No, Richard Lewis. Oh!
There we go.
The thing is, I actually liked his read because I would just say cock. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
cuckolded.
Yeah,
So
that's
you had some of it there, yeah.
Richard, slightly more sophisticated than you apparently.
When your vision is crystal clear, they say it's razor sharp. A focused mind is said to be like a knife, but the scalpel is wisdom. All one can do us accept that life is a double-edged sword. Stay on the edge. Quadruple
Surely not.
I
explanation.
don't think this is.
Surely
I don't
not.
think so.
The full
Thorin.
caps and the exclamation marks is not. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Thorin.
yeah.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. LeBron James. It was close though. I would
Problem is, though-
I would say the sentiment is accurate, but the expression is
I might
false.
tweet like, yeah, that sort of an idea.
You
but
would
they're right.
retweet that.
I would never. I wouldn't ever retweet LeBron James, but that's just me. Sure. I definitely never would put it in all caps, and then I would never be as gauche as to put like 4 exclamation points. No.
Come on.
Save
There's some
exclamation
class
mark.
on
Yeah.
Thorin's Twitter.
Oh, shut the hell up. Unless you're going to make some damn sense. You tweet this early in the morning just to say that? Sit down.
It sounds like something a like 1800s like dude would say. What the hell?
I don't think this is foreign. If I had
no.
to,
I don't think it is either.
The exclamation mark, no way. At the end of that.
Stephen A. Smith.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, quality. Next up, but we could have won the series.
Definitely.
Take a number,
Definitely
join the
real.
back of the queue, losers.
100%.
I'm
real.
guessing it's Thorin.
This one's too obvious, isn't it? Again, it's just my style. Like it's the same style as the first one, really, isn't it? It's like the quote from them, and then obviously the clap back. And the clap back is hard as fuck. Let's be real.
I just came. Get in that ass burning. This is a Dota tweet, right?
But I think getting that ass might be. I don't know why, but I feel like that might be a Thorinism.
I think this is. I
It
think this
is
foreign.
I think it is a rare unicorn of a
Yeah.
Dota tweet from Thorin. I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
Tweet, eh?
Yes.
Nice.
Perfect.
Here's the thing. They actually had to guess again based on the way it was done. But actually, you would also know if you followed Dota, that was like one of my favourite players as well. So I would also tweet like that, definitely. This is probably from like 3 years ago, I think.
The rare Dota tweet. All right. In my personal experience, no company gets butthurt about banter more than
Yes,
right.
that's definitely-
That is a true statement, by the way.
It's one of you two. I'm not sure which one it
It
is.
might be me.
I think it might be you.
It might
actually.
actually
Really?
be.
It might
So
be
here's the
Monty.
thing. It might actually be me.
Oh,
There you go.
I called it.
okay.
The thing is, actually, the problem is the people who do this obviously don't know us like super duper well. But like that was a pretty good one to pick because that I could have done that. In
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
That could have been the way I might have tweeted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this sounds like my opinion.
Sounds awfully familiar.
Vertigo equals ass cheeks.
What?
We can all acknowledge it's a funny tweet either way, right?
I don't know if it is because I like ass cheeks personally, and I don't.
But do you like the
Vertigo.
Hitchcock film? So it could be referring to that. See? Goes both ways.
Ooh, I don't think it's Thorin. I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
think this is a player.
Yeah, I think it's
If
too
I think
like
it's one of the players,
simplistic.
if I had to
There'd be
guess.
some more spice. There'd be some more banter in there if it were Thorin.
We tricked
Oh,
him.
shit. Oh,
We
shit.
tricked him. We got him. Listen, they don't always have to be home runs. Sometimes you bunt and go to the first base. Or you just got to get on the scoreboard. That's all.
I'm learning. This is
By the
good.
way, I agree with the sentiment. Vertigo is ass cheeks.
Also,
Still.
sometimes those shitty tweets get like a bazillion retweets
Yeah, I
for
know.
no
Oh, of
reason.
course.
So sometimes you really
That's
have
one
to
of those
dumb
ones
it
where I'm
down.
watching the game, I'm just chain tweeting
Yeah,
about
yeah,
everything
yeah.
that happens, you know.
If I had 3 pairs of shoes, they would probably all smell. Boots for the cold months, lows for the summer. You can accessorize and coordinate what you wear with different colors and styles.
This can't be. This
No,
can't be
I
Thor.
can't
Surely.
imagine
But who
this.
is it? That's
The
what
thing
we
is,
need
he's
to
got a
get.
cheeky smile
Who
on
would
his
you guess,
face.
though? Who would you guess for this?
I could believe someone like Bardolph could say something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. There you go. There
Right
you
in
go.
there.
Perfect.
That's good. That was a good read.
I mean, the reason why that's a good pick as well is because what makes it a classic Bardolph tweet is you read it and you're just thinking, like, this is going somewhere. No, it's just about him wearing shoes. It's just about he wears shoes
That's
or
the charm.
keyboard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Stream of
No,
consciousness.
essentially his tweets are just like, he doesn't know. He thinks that's like an online private journal, and then he's just like, those have been going out on the internet the whole time? Like, bloody hell.
All TSM
Ooh,
fans
here we
are
go.
blindfolded.
It could be either of you again. This one.
That's not me.
Right.
I'm confident that's not me.
I feel like he would go harder on the TSM fans and just say that, you know?
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
say
think
no.
so. I don't think so.
I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, where are we going with this?
I don't think so either. Ah,
Nice.
Ocelot.
You are
Okay.
right though. Like that's to me that is so incredibly tame. It's like and blindfolded in what way? It's
Yeah, like that's a given.
Yeah.
You've got to go further than
No,
that.
I would be like TSMs are all blind from the truth, and as a result will inhabit a hell realm for their entire life. That would be my version of the same tweet. You know?
There you go.
This is a really fun game, actually.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm honestly
They've also
quite
picked a
invested.
good crowd of people to be the other tweets.
Oh, yeah.
You know, real prominent people and Bardolph. You knew it was coming.
I'm legitimately considering some kind of vacation to Serbia or Croatia just to eat some cevapi. I don't fuck around when it comes to kebab.
I think this is.
I think this
Duncan.
is
You
Thorin.
think?
Because I remember.
Yeah, I believe this is Thorin.
I remember you on one of the Greek islands. You tweeted out saying souvlaki was super good, which is just Greek
Also, this
kebab.
he does like the kebab. I know that, and
Yes.
I believe he would go to a country just to eat kebab. I would believe that.
The accent on the C, though, is very, very good. I will give him that.
Also, who else would just say that as if that was like a swagger thing? Like, I don't fuck around when it comes to kebab. Like, to me, that's like gangster, but to everyone else, like, all right, just eat it then, you know. And by the way, that is totally legit food as well. It's sort of like it's almost like a little kind of spicy sausage, but it tastes really good. It comes in like proper bread, everything. It was banging. It was when I went to Croatia one time.
Nice. I didn't have that when I was in
It
Croatia
was when I went
last
to
year.
the event, the Counter Pit 2, where that legendary guy was like, put your cans in the air. And he was going, going to be a real bloody war. He was trying to do this like epic fucking... Go look it up on YouTube, everyone. It's like the introduction guide to Counter Pit 2. It's like infamous for how bad it was. And by the way, he even tried to do that thing they all do, where when the culture clash happens and everyone just makes fun of it, he tried to claim at the end like he was doing it on purpose to be silly or something, but he definitely wasn't. He thought this was like the most dope shit ever.
Oh, yeah. I remember one of the other lines was for the millions and millions of fans around the world, and then he'd go into the "Are you ready?" Which just he was
Really
trying to
long.
hype it. He was really trying
But
to.
see, here's what I don't understand about those people is like they gain a level of fame or notoriety, right? And you have a choice at that juncture. You can either just embrace that you have incredible natural comedic abilities, or you can just get mad that it didn't go over the way you wanted to. I would just embrace it and just make a career out of it personally.
We're not all as smart as you, Monty, apparently.
Why not? It's just like The Room, that Tommy Wiseau guy.
Here's the sad thing. The real analysis is going to follow this, but like, what, making a whole career out of being a joke? Who are they? MIBR? They're actually pretty good now, so fair play. But the joke stands. The old MIBR lineup, obviously.
Yeah, they said something interesting too when we were on that last part, or on the last interview, which is that they were only signed for a few months, so they're really hungry and like trying to prove that they deserve to be on this roster for the long term, which I think is really interesting.
Also, does mean they are literally here to fill in numbers. It's just that they happen to be good as well. Like, I don't think the MLBR org knew they were going to be good. I think that's why I was asking them about the maps, etc. Like, they're playing this as though they think they are a real team and this is going to have a future. Like, they're not just.
Well, this is how you make a future for yourself, man. Like, you show up here, you kind of do well in Blast, then you come over here in Flashpoint, you start creating surprises. Credit to them for making the most of the situation. I mean, it doesn't matter how they got here, it matters how they treat the opportunity.
I mean,
Unlike some other teams, like Envy.
And like you guys. So just take it to heart.
All right. Well, it's time to receive some brain damage from the community. We do have some community questions. Our favorite. You know what I love to do, guys? Have a few drinks and then think about what you guys want to ask me. That's my favorite thing ever. So let's do it. All right, Flashpoint. Hastro recently tweeted that Envy's CS budget next year will increase drastically if you were their GM. This is a good question. Okay, fair enough. This is a good question. What kind of players would you be looking for? Well, they aren't out of the tournament yet. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts either way.
I mean, bearing in mind that they have only just crept over the line into the last chance qualifier as a fourth place team, I don't think it's even saying much to say they're not out of the tournament yet. They're going to be out soon. Like, don't worry, guys. Like, they're not going to be doing a big impact on this one. So I think we can safely speculate that they might need to change some players. So I want to hear you guys. What would you suggest first? What sort of players should they go for? Bearing in mind the context is he potentially has millions to spend. You know.
My question is, how long does Envy's love affair with Nifty last? Because look, I'm gonna be honest. He's not calling this event. He's still not doing good enough for me. Like, you've just got to get an AWPer, surely, at this point. That would honestly be...
No.
So if you've got millions to spend, no. If you want, like, a free AWPer, it's probably your best shot, yeah.
I think, yeah, Nifty's
All
definitely...
right. Let's roll back this question. Who would you keep? And then who would you build around those players? Because that's the more relevant question, right?
I think if Leggy is calling, you kind of have to keep him.
No.
Well, you
Oh,
don't
God.
have to, but there's just so few options, to be honest, unless you're going to break a contract or you could get, Azza out.
Millions of dollars.
whatever's
Come
going
on,
As is a good
be
shout.
creative.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. See,
they've
we're
got
getting
stuff,
somewhere.
they've got the budget. Assuming Legia has to stay, Nifty's definitely a good one to think about other options for, especially, if he's freed up from calling, you have to see him doing more, fundamentally. I think Thomas, you have to let him play out at least 6 months, see what's going to happen. Can he develop? Legia presumably will stay in the more supportive role, so it's probably the rotators you're looking at. It's Calix and Mihu. They really have to pull their weight. The way I see the team at the moment is they're probably not being used to their full potential, to be honest. They're just not that cohesive. The team is the same with the older lineup, where it just didn't really make sense around them. You had the 2 NA players, and it just didn't really work. So if the supportive elements are working well, I'd look at the rotators and I'd look at the Nifties, the AWPer, so the high fragging players. So if they do have loads of money, maybe they could break, good contracts, get high-skilled European player in. something like that, get like a Bentette sort of player, and really kind of push themselves higher.
Right, my move basically would be, first of all, I would totally be open to the option. We'd just scrap the whole team and buy a new squad and start over. Like at this point in time, like some of the sunken cost fallacy does make sense for some of these players. If I keep a player, the number one player I'm going to keep is Calix. But what I'm going to do is I've got to have a really good in-game leader. So it could be a Carrigan, someone like that. I've got to have someone who's going to make the most of him. Because when I think of Calix, I just look at what they did with Xantares in Big, and this guy was incredible in terms of the transformation from the first big lineup he was in, where they were doing whack even at that little invitational they did for E-League, to then being like a team with skills. So what I want is I want a really good in-game leader. I can maybe keep Calix. I'm not against keeping Mihu. I think he's actually a solid player. The rest of the players have to change. We have to get some really good AWPer in. Like Smooya doesn't even fit the bill in that regard. If we've got millions to spend, let's go wild. Let's get someone really skilled.
No names? Really?
I mean, listen, it depends on what goes on there. I mean, listen,
You've got the Envy pocketbook. Make Envy good.
sadly, I know there's a world where some of these players will go. Like, I'd consider someone like KNG. I mean, the guy's a banger. Again, let's put him in the national squad. Why not? If you want other players, Phelps. Like, I don't know if these players will ever play outside Brazil, unfortunately. That's part of the issue to
You
me.
would have said Woxic before being signed by
he would be an
Cloud9.
obvious
He'd be a
one.
good one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other European AWPers that would really be around at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was going to say Farlig, but if you've got millions, you're not going to go for Farlig. I do think he's decent, but...
I feel like you're never going to make $1 million if your
I mean,
idea
here's
is
one.
far leg.
Here's
Yeah.
what you could go for that wouldn't be terrible necessarily. If people have seen Guardian keeps streaming and keeps doing tweets implying that he is actually motivated again.
Yes,
If people don't
that's
know,
true.
he just straight up told me in that period when he was bad in Navi, like, yeah, I just wasn't playing the game enough. Like, I was just in a period of my life where I thought it'd kickstart things, but it didn't. And I think he had some stuff to deal with. So that's a player where we've seen this many times. We've seen it with Kenny S. We've seen a bunch of these stars. You can sometimes sort of resurrect them if you put the right squad around them. So if you want a freebie, there's one you could pick up and you build around him as an AWPer. Again, if you've got a great... Listen, he's already played with Carrigan. He probably even would love to play with someone like Carrigan if I had that team I'm starting to build, you know. There's one for you that's obvious. Bobski. We know Astralis will
That's a
sell.
good shout.
If we've got money, we can build around this guy's a star. You know, there's players out there. That's the reason why I'm underwhelmed by Envy, because you can go and get players right now. They're available.
Yeah, you would think, too, that Bubsky as a personality, I would think, would be a very good brand fit for Envy overall, just because he likes to be out there in a little bit that I think wasn't really appreciated by Mad Lions or other European rosters. But I think if I look at how Bubsky tweets and how he is on broadcast, I could see him being very popular with an American audience for sure. And I could see somebody like Hastro and Envy really supporting him. So I'd personally love to see that. I mean, I'd love to have him back in Flashpoint just because he's such an interesting guy. He's perfect. Talks mad shit. Let's go. All right, next community question. What team do you think Fallen should move to? Now, this bearing in mind that Fallen... There have been a bunch of rumors about where Fallen...
When we see a rumor, he accidentally screen leaked a list of him and a bunch of other players. So technically, that could just be a fun little idea he was playing, or it could be a trick. Or he might have just accidentally leaked teams he was potentially joining, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, but in again, you're perfect. If
making
you,
this
could if you could
hypothetical,
GM
yes.
every team in Counter-Strike and
Do
you
you
could
have a
put
favourite one that he
Fallen,
could join?
Yeah,
I mean, let's
where would
make
he
it
go?
fun. Like, what team would he make better if he joined?
Ooh, that's a tough one because you have to actually pick a team that's probably not doing well right now. I mean, hey, to Envy maybe, like it's not an awful shout if Envy are gonna
an IGL?
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind getting that. I mean, obviously Legia's not playing in the team if that happens, but like you put Bubsky on there, you put Fallen on there.
We'll make the
Look,
sacrifice, guys. We'll make the sacrifice.
Here's an interesting one. If you were to remove automatic from opping, which has been a complaint, put him back to rifling, would he be good on Genji?
Yes and no. I think with Fallen, the number one thing you'd actually need around him is a really strong coach, really strong personality, because from watching Fallen after SK into MIBR's decline, it's just looked like they've just stayed in the mentality that they had over 2016 and in 2017 as well, and they had success of staying in the same style. They're not making changes, sticking with the same core, recycling the fifth player again and again. And it just feels like for someone like Fallen, maybe he's been humbled a bit by this period now coming out of MIBR, but I'd love to have him under a really strong coaching figure. Maybe even Zeus again, potentially, would be a good one. But somebody that's just going to push him in the right direction. Maybe even take Fallen out of calling for a while, just have him to be a straight AWPer. Maybe that would work. In terms of teams, I could see Mouse Sports working if Carrigan could get him under control, could really kind of hone in on him and break potentially any problems he has outside of the game. So I think that
To be
could
fair,
be a good
there
fit.
are rumors of Kerrigan going back to FaZe, right? So
Yep.
FaZe.
So maybe FaZe.
This seems like an obvious one, just because, again,
who
you
would
get
you
an
get as
offer.
coach, though, for FaZe at the moment?
Well, here's the thing. I thought when you were saying it right there, since you said a coach like Zeus, why not Team Liquid? AWP's never been the strongest position. IGL's always been a semi-weak position. They've got all the rest of the players, and they've got, I mean, Zeus isn't in that team now. You've got Moses in that case. So you've got someone who perhaps, listen, by the way, Moses actually has even a really good relationship with Fallen. Maybe he could be the guy to talk sense into him, because one of the problems is he's had coaches, but if you've kind of like read between the lines, it doesn't feel like he's fully bought into what they wanted to do. He just had a coach because the org told him to, and then when he gets sick of it, the coach moves on. So I feel like going into an EG or one of these, like these are the sorts of teams maybe I think I would, because what I would try and do is, my logic is, unless I'm just making him retire, I want him to be a good player again. So let's chuck him on a good team and see if he can go all the way to the top, have one last dance, as it were.
The one thing I would need, if he goes to Liquid, I would need you to give Moses some lessons on how to actually
There
be
you
a harsh coach. He's too
Yes.
nice. He's just too nice. He's friends with all the players. I need him to give some advice, though. That's what I
There you
need.
go. I'll tell him how to whip Brazilians in the
There you
shape.
go. Boom.
And get the best of them. Because, by the way, I've picked against them and made some epic performances. And that was all me, the secret coach of the Brazilian team. So,
Very good. Very good. All right, that'll
more?
be
Is that it?
that'll be it for our questions for today. I think we've had a nice chat here at the Blind Spot. I did enjoy the Thorin or not Thorin game.
It was good.
Yeah, we can bring that one back. Maybe we'll run that
What
one
we need
back
next
for playoffs.
time is we need to have people that actually are tweeting like beak faces as
Yes.
well. Like we need to start tweeting beak faces for this segment in the future and pretending to be
well, what
Thorin.
we should do is this. We should get some of you to do fit. Next time, instead of real tweets, it should be real tweets from me and then fake what you think I would
Yes,
tweet. And
that
then we'll
would be
leave
great.
And what we'll do is trick each other. So then it'll be
Yes.
like, you'll do one
Yeah.
and he has to guess, was
Yes.
it me or
That would
him?
actually be very fun. I think we can arrange.
Because we've got to
that.
up the ante. Some of those were like, my style's just too inimitable, isn't it? You know.
Well, we're going to test that theory. You say that, but we'll test it.
We'll see.
All right, so let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow for you guys. We will have one more losers match, as well as our Midsummer Group winners match, the rematch of Mad Lions versus Fnatic, which I'm quite excited for, and also OG back in form, Gen G. Surprisingly good with two stand-ins.
Another rematch.
Some banging
This was the
rematches,
opener,
yeah.
remember?
Yeah, it was the opener. The Gen G won 2-0. So big upset there. OG definitely going to be looking for a little bit of revenge. These are actually both very intriguing matchups. You wouldn't think that Gen G versus OG would be interesting, but it actually is.
I don't think it will be. I think the run back is OG's going to
The
brutalize.
salty
Yeah.
run back
Yeah.
is real.
Get ready.
Look,
That's
we've got to
fair.
pretend it's interesting for
Oh,
now.
no, of
at
course,
least,
yeah,
you know. Genji really got a good chance, guys.
All
By
right.
the way, I thought that the little burn that we did on Exist in that like opener with Freya. Go watch it now on the Pinnacle Esports YouTube channel if you want. Basically, we just joke that he's a zombie. You have to watch the joke yourself. It's better if you hear it from straight fire.
It was very funny. Are you guys excited about the Fnatic Mad Lions rematch at least?
Both of the games between them, the one in the IEM and the one here, have been straight fire.
Yeah,
There's been really good games.
Really
actually.
entertaining.
Yeah, for both of those series tomorrow, having seen those exact series play out before, all the stuff with the veto, they can prep and going into this one. I can tell you already, I'll be picking Fnatic to win that game against Matt. I've seen them lose twice, but I can't give up hope on Fnatic, and I'll be taking them.
Fair enough. We do have a raffle for you guys, by the way, courtesy of Pinnacle Esports. And as you can tell, pinnacle.com/raffle, we are giving away knife skins.
You don't really win a padlock. I'm assuming that's like a mystery one or something. What is the
That's
third
for,
one?
that's for week 3. We haven't
see,
revealed
right,
it
okay.
yet, Thorin. Mr. James Bardolph
Yeah.
was our skin curator for all of these as a great CSGO skin enthusiast. So week 2, we've got a Karambit up for you, and you do have to go to that link and deposit at least 10 euros into your account in order to win this week. So good time for you to have a little bit, some responsible 10 euro fun on our matches and get a chance to win a very cool Karambit skin.
It's a camouflage Karambit as well, which is kind of fitting because I saw Hulzuk playing today, and he's kind of been invisible on the server, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
A little bit of banter coming out at the end there. Fair enough.
Yeah, I've had half a beer and it's all over. It's all over for me. The true Hawk has come out.
Hawk is learning how to be on Flashpoint, I see, slowly. he's being brainwashed. So that's good. That's how we want it to be. Thank you very much for joining us here on The Blind Spot today. Really appreciate you sticking around for our fun here in the post show. We will be back for our losers match tomorrow, our final one, and then our winners match where we will determine the first seed in our Midsummer Group, and that'll be between Mad Lions and Fnatic. Should be, and I quote the Brits, a banger. So we'll see you then. Till then.
top stories live from the Flashpoint News Network. ESL announces new hyperbolic time chamber. Events can now span up to 40 hours per day. And in financial news, there are fears for renowned color commentator Henry G as Bitcoin prices plummet. We've lost millions in this game, announces Cloud9's Jacques Etienne after their $6 million investment. And in other news, Dignitas took time out of their busy schedules to visit a local orphanage. It was just so heartbreaking. Looking into their sad little eyes, there was no hope for them, said Billy, age 9. As pressure mounts from the Brazilian community, the case of banned player VSM is revisited. Valve issued the following statement: "We will not be unbanning iBuyPower. Warning, zombie outbreak as former Dignitas, NIP and Fnatic player Exist rises from the dead to terrorize the lands with his loose style of in-game leading." That's all from us at the Flashpoint News Network. We'll see you next time.